It's going to take me a minute. Okay, let me compose myself. Okay. Hi. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Receipts at this point 3.0, 4.0, because we have changed so many times.
So many things.
But this is the new set. Hi, everyone.
Welcome.
We have our own space.
Mm-hmm.
It is our names on the contract. It is ours. Mm-hmm. We're setting it up ourselves. And we are here recording from it for the first time.
And do you know what? Technically, this doesn't even have to be your receipts.
What?
This can be whatever we want it to be.
Do you know what? At this point, creatively, I can be like, I want to go once a month.
Exactly.
And no one's going to beat me.
Exactly.
I mean, actually, I think the listeners will actually beat us.
Oh, yeah, they may beat us.
I think the listeners will actually beat us.
Yeah.
But this can be whatever we want it to be right now. Mm-hmm. So, currently, welcome to the new show.
Exactly.
Also, the old show. The Receipts Podcast!
Look at our drapes.
Look at the draping. As you can see, we stole the sign from Spotify. Mm-hmm. We did. Like I said, every time I leave an institution, I steal. This was a stolen thing from that.
Mm-hmm.
How does it feel?
God, it feels mad. Like, it's just very strange. Like I was saying to Amanda, our producer, this morning, if I wasn't coming here from my mum's house, I may have gone to the old location.
To the old place, yeah.
Because I'm so on autopilot about my journey, because it has been that for many years now.
Many years.
So so this is like a new normal, but it's a great new normal. It feels absolutely amazing. I think we need to tell them about the work.
Guys. Okay, so we got the keys to the space about a week ago. Okay, so backstory. So we knew we was getting kicked out of the Spotify studios.
Basically.
They gave us, like, by
an
this
eviction
day,
notice.
y'all are gotta go. So we knew that was happening. And upon knowing the date, we knew that we had to find somewhere. So we were still like looking for spaces or whatever. And I was like, oh, do you think they're being for real? Like with Spotify, like for old time's sake, there can't be like another week as we're friends here. Mm-hmm. And that's the thing, like we're genuinely still friends. Like it's not a beef. But they were like, you think you're not going to sign with us and you're going to, if you don't get the fuck out.
This comes with a contract, Hans.
So anyway, so we knew it was going to come out. So I was like, okay, cool. Let's kind of like get some episodes in so we have time to set this up. And by some episodes in, I mean, we had a week to set this up. So we got the keys and I'm ridiculous. I remember when I first got my house. I got my keys November the 18th. And I said, I'm going to get this place done by Christmas. And everybody told me it was undoable. They said it's not possible. And again, we got these keys and I was like, I want this done by April the 2nd. And they were like, no, it's not doable. We got to do this. But my God, it's a big one.
Yes.
Like,
you don't pray about you.
Big G, not the little one. And I was like, no, even if it's just half of the set of the studio that's done, whatever's going to be on camera is done, then let's just get that done. So the race is on to get out of the bottom. So I was like, okay, cool. What do I want the space to look like? What do we want the space to look like? Started going on Pinterest. Pinterest, like my favorite place ever in the world. Was like Audrey back and forth. What do you think? Blah, 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 blah. And they were looking at actually who's gonna do it for us. We can have all the ideas in the world, but who's actually gonna put it up? So I started looking on Instagram. And in my mind, I was like, I need someone that can do a set. That can do like movie sets, film sets, or whatever. And then I remember, I have to tell you this backstory. Ashley's a photographer. And I remember we've been at so many events where Ashley's in photography and the backdrop just looks stunning. And this is the annoying thing. Not many people credit set people. They just don't. It's kind of like it comes along with this and no one credits it. So I went on Ashley's page and God bless him, he credits. And I saw Attica Studios. Bam, I pressed that button. I literally emailed her at like 1 a.m. I was like, hi, I don't know if this is something that you do, because I know you do sets, but they're always temporary. They set it up and they take it off. Do you do something like more permanent? Blah, 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 blah. And then she emailed back. Clearly she was up as well. She's like, yeah. I love when people are on a hustle. She was like, actually, I haven't done it before, but it's definitely something I want to do. So we sent her back, we sent her ideas that we had, and she just gave us this like, deck that was just chef's kiss.
She just got it straight away.
Like she just got it and then was like, cool. And then she started sending things to order. Now, what they don't tell you is how fucking expensive things are.
Very much.
Like so much money, especially the equipment, like the stand, the mics, the cameras. And then I'm like, and the thing is, so when I order, Audrey has to confirm it on the app. So I'm like, Audrey, can you confirm this, can you confirm this? And we're like, I'm just seeing money go and go and go. But we're like, it is well, it is well, it is well. So everything comes now. We're good. And every EVRI, you will suffer.
You may never do an ad with you, but I would never want to do an ad with you.
You will perish. And I will make sure you perish. There's still things missing now because every just decided to not do their job. They just don't deliver. And you think after they kind of like they rebranded from Hermes. And the rebrand has not matched as bad.
The effort levels. Like it's just, it was... The deliveries was definitely like part of the worst
That was the worst bit. And then there was a bit where a bunch of things had got delivered. We just had not seen it. So we were on like being like, this is disgusting, sending that to who it may concern emails.
Thank God it was probably a bot.
Yeah, thank God.
Thank God.
Because I was blowing English. I just don't understand. This is despicable. We paid for next day. Come to find out, it was downstairs in the post.
It was here the whole time.
We just hadn't looked properly.
So
anyway, so things came. Cool. We were like taking dates to let deliveries in, blah, 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 blah. So as you can imagine, there's loads of rubbish.
This is the worst part.
So this thing comes in one box.
Yeah,
like it just comes as it is in one box, right? So we had a smart idea of putting all the rubbish in that box and taking it downstairs. No, it didn't fit in the lift. So we're like, sure, fine, whatever. Actually, the first hurdle was getting it through the door.
Oh my God, no, it was a mess. So we had to get this great big massive box through the door, which...
It's
looking at it, it's not that big actually.
No.
But we had to like angle it. And ordinarily, if it was empty, I think it would have been all right. But it was filled with other boxes because we were trying to be resourceful and do this quickly because anyway, it was a mess. But Tolly and I are literally trying to take it down the stairs between the two of us.
It was actually hazardous.
Sweating. And then some of the stuff like we'd sealed the box so that the stuff that was inside it didn't come out, but that came undone. And then like coffee started spilling everywhere. And the building cleaners were like looking at us like, what the fuck are these girls doing? She was so pissed because there was coffee all over the floor. Then she came and helped us with the box.
Yeah, she helped us with the box.
She helped us
but
with
she
the
did
box.
it in a very like stupid girl's way.
She did it in a way like...
She just got it done.
She did it in a very smart way. And it got to a point where like we had like going back and forth transporting all this rubbish. And I saw this group of young boys and I honestly was so close to being like, guys, you want to do a job for £20? Like I was so close.
They would have said yes as well.
And I think they would have.
Yeah, they would have said yes.
He's not trying to make a quick buck in this 2025.
So we got to ground floor. And again, we couldn't fit it through the door.
It was a mission.
And then Audrey saw a lovely gentleman that was just minding his business. Audrey, please help us.
Save us. And then
we were the most dancing in distress people ever. Like, please, can you help us?
And then he just took over and then he was like, move out the way.
Yeah, but the thing is though, this is a bit longer than me. So when he's like, do this, I'm still like, no, it's this way, it's this way. He's like, just let go of it.
He's like, let go, I've got this.
And I was like, no,
he just did it in one swoop.
And just got it out.
And and then we were like, oh, we can drag it from here.
I think we were doing something monumental. But it's been a lot of heavy duty.
Literally.
Heavy duty, putting things together. But like we're getting there. It's not all done yet. Once it's done, we'll do like a few
we'll do
like
a proper tour.
Studio tour and everything. But like, we're here. We're here.
Well done.
God, it was stressful.
What a stressful time.
It's a good time.
No, it was, it's great. I have no complaints apart from taking out the bins.
The bins
that was like the worst part.
But
other than that, being here on Saturday with Lottie and, Studio Atticus who did all of this and just Brent, obviously.
Brent, of course.
Like without Brent, like,
Brent, we've got complaints actually.
We've got complaints.
Apparently you added a very loud beep to the thing and can you lower that beep? Yeah, yeah, and it was very loud.
Because he didn't want praise.
That you're not letting that bit out. But again, shout out to Brent. He was here with us on a Saturday, setting this thing up, putting lights up, doing all of that man stuff.
Setting up the cameras.
Well done, Brent. Round of applause to Brent. Woo! Why can't you take a compliment?
Yeah, why are you so humble?
Do you know what? I actually find it really weird people that can't take compliments.
There's such a thing as being too humble.
Can you take a compliment quite well?
Yes, I love them. Send them my way. I have no issues. I just say thanks and keep it moving.
I do kind of act a little bit shy.
It depends. If I know that like I agree, then I just agree.
Do you know that women have a really bad thing of taking compliments?
Yeah,
especially like on their clothes. They do a thing of they're like, oh, it's only, it doesn't matter what it is. It's
exactly.
still nice. Yeah. So I still like your top. Take it in.
My friend said that to me the other day, actually, because you know, like Anaya is 18 months and she's very articulate for 18 months.
She's a very smart girl.
And she's so smart and she's so bright. And then my friend Phoebe was like, you need to stop crediting Miss Rachel. That's you. She was like, she's articulate because of you as well. Because often I'm like, it's Miss Rachel, which it is as well. It's definitely a joint effort.
Yeah, but she's not there 24/7 listening to her.
Exactly. And she doesn't watch screens. She doesn't have screen time 24/7. So my friend Phoebe was like, it's also you. Like, stop doing that. And I was like, yeah, do you know what? You're right. It's true.
Yeah, take it in. I think so often we had a very hard time of just being like, I often have a hard time. I saw a clip that when you was on Your Auntie's Carnival. And on the clip, they were talking about just like, well done for the receipts, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Do you know I couldn't watch it? I had to go.
Yeah, not even me.
I was like, oh.
Do you know what? I thought you were going to say that I looked awkward.
You did look awkward.
I felt but obviously I was grateful. And
it was like nice stuff. They were like, you guys have done amazingly. You guys done this and this. I literally, I think I heard the first sentence. I was like, oh.
Yeah,
and I just like turned it off. I literally, I don't know why I can't
even
take it.
in the moment, I didn't know what to do with my face, but obviously I didn't want to stop them because obviously it's true. Do you know what I mean? But I just know that my face, because I can remember my facial expressions being awkward and thinking, how is this going to translate on camera? But yeah,
it is weird.
It is weird, yeah.
Taking it, you just sit there like...
Yeah, you're just like, yeah. Just my little fake
the worst
laugh.
is that like when you're doing a talk or something, someone's introducing you.
And they're reading
So I've had it when it's been really, really good and they're doing an intro, you're like, yeah, that's me. And then some people you get it's like, no, bruv, you didn't even do that.
Yeah,
so I don't even know how big a deal I am. Come back and tell them what I've done.
Know my credentials, yeah.
But that's not what we're here for. We're not here for a chit chat. We're here to do your receipts.
We're here to help.
We're here to help you guys out with your dilemmas, your issues, whatever it is you're going through. We are here on our brand new white sofa that I have sprayed over because I do not trust Audrey to not get it dirty.
I don't trust me. Like even when we got the couch in, I had coffee and I was like, whoa. And
not even just the couch. Even the first 2 minutes of us walking into this space, if you guys see on that wall here, see that black stain? Audrey.
That's my jacket.
It was within the first 2 minutes of being in this room.
When we came to visit. When I came, and I think, it was.
Yeah.
It was. And I'm even paranoid, and like this might be TMI, yeah. But when we were here, I was very paranoid when we were filming.
Yeah.
Because I was on my period.
Okay.
And I was so paranoid. I was like, I don't even want to sit on this couch.
No, you can sit on a white couch.
But I wasn't, do you know what I mean? I just was very paranoid, but it was all fine. Sorry,
do you know, I used to do this really weird thing, right, again, TMI. When I was like, randomly, I would not be on my period. Like, I know my period's not due and I'll be wearing white and I'll just put a tampon in. Because I'll be just convinced that for some reason it will just be like, okay, I want to come today.
Exactly the same. The day anytime I'm wearing white, I would just put something on just to be safe.
Just in case.
Even though, 100%.
I hate pads. So I started wearing pads to sleep when I'm on my period, right?
I have to wear both because I have a heavy flow and a wide set vagina.
You have to wear a tampon and a...
Yeah. Because it's like blood, it's like Game of Thrones down there.
Girl.
Yeah.
Was that since having a baby or since forever?
No, I've always. But do you know what it is? It's the first 2 days. It's insane. So I will wear both because I think that I feel like tampons just keep everything in.
Will you ever use a little sucker cup?
No. But it just feels more dry. And then I put the pad there for like extra. You know, like how you have a nice floor and then you have a rug?
Yeah.
Exactly the same.
Okay, fair. I like that analogy. I was into that. Okay, cool. Let's start with the dilemmas. Hi, Tolly and Audrey. Hope your year so far is going great. It sure is. The biggest congratulations on your new space. Thank you. Praying for you both to excel in all your endeavours and that God gives you all that you've prayed for and more.
Amen.
On to my dilemma. I really do hope you read this because I actually don't know what to do. I'm a 25-year-old Nigerian British woman who is still living with her parents. Okay. Just a bit of context. My mum has been very strict with me my whole life. And I believe I made it worse as I'm the oldest out of my siblings. The severity of the strictness is too long to go over, as a dilemma will probably need a whole episode to go through. Anyways, as I got older, you'd think her strictness would calm down. But no, it's gotten worse and it's affecting my relationship with my boyfriend. I've been with my boyfriend for nearly 3 years. He's met my family. I've met his. That is getting to the point where the next step is marriage. The first year of us being together, we were traveling back and forth to the point that my mum was even happy for me. All of a sudden, I'm not allowed to travel to him outside of London.
Oh.
We abided to that and did city trips. And then I wasn't even allowed to spend a night with him. As in, when we go, he must drop me home by 11:59 that same day.
Who should be talking to?
Does your mum want your man? Her reason is that she's a cultural woman and she's a Christian, so I should respect her commands as I still live under her roof. She also said there is no such thing as girlfriend or boyfriend.
Yeah?
Like she wants us to rush into marriage. This has caused a strain in our relationship with my boyfriend as I don't see him often. He works, I work. The only time we see each other is after work, like 6 p.m. And in the times he comes to my house, he has to leave by 9 p.m. because it's disrespectful for a boy that I'm not married to stay in our house because she has other kids. I don't understand this sudden change. Everyone I've told thinks it's very childish. Even my own boyfriend's parents think it's not right. I'm not in the position financially to move out and I don't want to rush into marriage. So then I will be allowed to do what I want to do with my boyfriend. Please help your sister out. Thank you both in advance.
Do you know what's happened?
What?
Her mum was 100% spoken to someone. So there's another auntie or friend in her ear that has been like, so she might have been at church or she might have been at one of her like groups or just out with her friends or whatever. And she's been like bragging about her daughter and, you know, my daughter's on the road to marriage. She's got this boyfriend and blah, blah, blah. And then some friend or some auntie's been in her ear and been like, you allow them to do that, blah, blah, blah. I guarantee you that's what's happened.
I think that the mum has realised she's losing her daughter. I think maybe for the first year it was all jokey, our boyfriend, whatever. And now she's like, oh shit, this thing is actually very serious. They're going to take it far. And I think it's been like she now feels like she's lost reign. She's lost control of what she's... Because I think a lot of strictness, outside of it stemming from your parents being fearful, is control. They want to know that they are able to be like, come in here, do this now, and you listen to their command. And that's why I advocate for moving mad from 18. In fact, 16. Like I tell you guys this all the time. You can't, because when you let them get away with something, they'll start doing this or whatever. I remember my sister got pregnant before she got married. Dirty girl. So I remember, so when she was pregnant, obviously she'd been with her boyfriend for a very long time. They've been together since she was 16. She got pregnant at 24.
Okay.
So when she was pregnant, cool, whatever. And then my mum was like, okay, cool, now you have to do your traditional. Like as in, okay, you're pregnant, but like, let's quickly wrap this thing up. So they did the traditional. And my sister was pregnant at her traditional.
She must have been so
exhausted. Like she was just like, what the heck is this? Pregnant at her traditional. So anyway, she comes home back to my mum's house after the traditional and she starts packing her things. My mum was like, where are you going? She was like,
I'm married now.
To my husband's house. And my mum was like, if you don't go and unpack. So what kind of stupid marriage do you think you're making? If you don't go and unpack and go back to your room. She's like,
always moves.
Yeah. Suddenly it wasn't traditional anymore. Suddenly it was white wedding now. But she was like, I'm pregnant. I've done traditional. My mum was like, no, you're not moving out.
Yeah.
Now, I tell this so because my mum could try that with her. Me, she could never. She actually could never. But okay, you're in a situation now. I think you might just have to break the rules. Come home at 12:30. Come home at 1 a.m. What's going to happen? She will shout. And I think eventually they stop shouting. And I know this is not good advice. Your mum's going to be fuming with us for saying
my mum
this.
hated that advice
But
that
I just think like it doesn't... To then being like, okay, cool, it's affecting my relationship. I feel sad about it. You're 25. I could understand if you're telling me you're an 18-year-old girl and your mum wants you home by a particular time. You're 25. And especially I can only assume that you pay towards stuff. Because again, that changed for me as well. When I was at home, I started paying towards stuff. There was a point I was like, Mum, I pay more than you in this house.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I'm so sorry. This is our house.
If you want me to be a child, children don't pay bills.
They don't pay bills. Like, there was that how this is my house couldn't run. Since this is our house, we're both paying for the bills here. And I think maybe before you rebel and do that, maybe have a chat to her like, Mummy, why are you being like this? Or my trusted thing to do is go to a good auntie. There's always an auntie in your family that's like, cool.
Yeah.
And there's probably like Toyin. All Auntie Toyins are always cool. They just allow things to run. To go talk to a good auntie that's like, I don't know why my mum's doing this. She's being so strict. I'm 25. I'm a grown up. And like Africans have this weird thing where you're not allowed a boyfriend. Suddenly, where's your husband?
Exactly.
I've never understood
so
that thing.
Weird. You do have to date before you get the husband. You don't
like
just pop out get a husband. That's not how it works.
Because also, I think your mum can be more lax than you think because I think very strict doesn't allow a boy in the house at all.
Yeah.
Let alone till 9.
But he was able to sleep over. Like, that's what I'm curious about. That's why I think that there's also been someone in her ear that has been like, no, why is she doing that? Your daughter shouldn't do that, blah, blah, blah. Because remember, she allowed it in the beginning. It was fine. And then she suddenly changed. Do you know what I mean? So I would just be curious. That alone I would be so curious.
I would sit down to that, Mummy, what's happening?
I'd be like, what happened?
Yeah.
How comes you used to be cool with it and now you're not cool with it? And is there a middle ground where we can meet somewhere? Do you know what I mean? Because yeah, I just think you're regressing with what you're doing in your relationship. And it doesn't really make sense if she wants you to go into marriage, but you're going backwards. So you need to explain to her, if you really do want marriage to be the goal, and the only reason I say this is because you want it as well. So it's not like something that's being forced on you, but you have to like position it from their sort of point of view and be like, Mummy, if you want me to get married, I have to spend more time with this person. I need to get to know him better. And for us to do that, we need to spend quality time. And so if you want me to not see him, blah, 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 then the marriage is not going to happen. You have to weaponize their own things against them sometimes.
Yeah.
And just be like, I'm not going to marry someone that I don't know. And, you know, your new rules mean that I can't get to know my boyfriend fully. And we were on the road to marriage, but we're not anymore, thanks.
Because what happens if it's 11:59 and you're not home?
Yeah, exactly. That is what I would like to know.
Yeah, like I just want to know what happens. Like she would just shout. They're getting older. That shout is even getting tired for them. Like they don't have the strength to shout as much as they used to shout anymore. So I'm just like, honestly, at 25, no, I'm so sorry, you're not. That's not running.
Yeah, no, I totally agree.
And also because you're the oldest, you have to set the example.
Yeah, you
do.
So
your siblings don't have to go through this as well.
Absolutely. Next dilemma?
Next dilemma.
Okay. Hi, ladies.
Hello.
First of all, love the podcast, and you've answered a dilemma of mine previously, and I just want to say thank you so much. It helps me take the necessary steps, and it helps me so much.
Got us changing the world.
Well, I'm back with another dilemma,
I
really need some big sister help. Sometimes I think going to friends is like the blind leading the blind. I need wisdom. Okay. So here goes.
Okay.
I've been with my boyfriend for just under a year now, and he is so lovely and perfect. I have no however for him.
Oh, good.
He's genuinely the love of my life and treats me so well. My dilemma is that I have become more insecure / jealous in our relationship, and I genuinely have no reason to. I'm from a bigger city than he is, and I live in his home city, and it's a lot smaller. So sometimes I have come across his 2 exes and just past people he's been on dates with. He doesn't interact with them or make me feel weird. I don't know why it triggers me so much. I start overthinking he will leave me, and just the sight of them sets me off. It will ruin my mood, and I've become obsessive with the thought of them. This is super unlike me, and I've never cared about this stuff. He is the first person I've properly loved and a serious relationship. So I'm not sure if that's the reason why. He has an ex that was from school, but she has mutual friends with his friend group. So sometimes I will see her. They aren't friends and they don't interact besides a general hello. But I don't know why the sight of her triggers me so much. I had actually met her when she and my boyfriend were friends. So it's not like I wasn't aware that she existed. This is also a relationship that is almost 9 years ago, so I don't know what my problem is. We had a discussion recently and he said to me that I will push him away with my obsessions, making some remarks, digs, or just bugging out in general.
You will.
He also thinks that I have a friend who's influenced me, as I never used to be like this. For context, my friend is his mate's girlfriend and she can be quite insecure. He genuinely thinks that my friendship with her has influenced me subconsciously. I think he might be right. Also, I don't look like any of his exes race-wise, and I'm not sure why that makes me so uncomfortable. They are all white and I'm Southeast Asian.
Do you like my aesthetic?
So far from that, laugh out loud. I find myself comparing myself to them and wondering why my partner is with me if I'm not his usual type. He said he doesn't have one and that the city he's from is not diverse at all, which is true. So again, what is my issue? This is something that has never bothered me before, but again, I'm not sure why this is. So what I need help with is how do I stop these obsessive thoughts? Because this definitely isn't normal. I would also just like your insight as I am going insane. I don't want to lose him and this is definitely a me problem. He reassures me all the time and has done nothing to make me feel otherwise. He even didn't move to another country just to be with me.
Go.
I don't know why I am so scared he will leave me for someone he's been with. I'm sorry if this was long and I'm sorry if it sounds silly, but I would really appreciate some insight / advice. Thank you again and love you guys always.
Firstly, I'm glad that you see that this is a you problem.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you're not putting it on him to say he's doing this or making up like things that it's blah, 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 blah. What I will say about like being in love and feeling like you found the right person is that now you have someone to lose. And I think that is a big thing. I think for the longest time, you haven't actually had anyone to feel like, oh my God, if I lose this person, this will affect me. And I think there is something that like changes your wiring that, oh my God, now I have someone to lose. So it feels like sort of thing. But I promise you, if you carry on like this, you will lose him. And it won't be to an ex or to whatever. It would be because of how you are moving. This is definitely like your own insecurities. You're doing compare and contrasting with these exes. And this person has assured you there's nothing else he can do.
There's nothing else that can be done.
Like he's told you, he's assured you, and he's with you.
Yeah, that part.
Because if you wanted to be with the exes, they're in his small town. He could have been with his exes.
Exactly.
Like I don't know what else it is to say outside of the like, you need to fix up. And also I think there is something in like, not like when you think of these things, don't just sit there and really let it stir in you.
Mm-hmm.
You have to like change your mind to rethink and think something else, because I think negative thoughts have a way of sticking.
Mm-hmm.
You can drive yourself insane by one small thought. Suddenly you have like overthought, and now this is happening and your whole life is finished. And I think that's something you just have to teach yourself to be like, okay, stick to the truth. I say this all the time, stick to the truth. When you're going into a spiral of negative thoughts, what's the truth? The truth is you have a partner that loves you and you have no however about him. Nobody has no however about a man.
Exactly.
Everybody has a however about a man, and you're lucky enough to not. So stick to the truth.
Have you ever heard, and I'm not saying this is what's going to happen with your guy, by the way, but you know, sometimes when, and I've heard this several times where guys will be like, you accused me so much of cheating, you actually drove me to it.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know how true that is, but I've heard that so many times.
Same.
And I'm not saying that that's what's going to happen, but you just don't want to even plant those seeds. His mind is not there.
Yeah.
And I genuinely think you're operating from a place of scarcity. Like, you found this good guy, and I think that everything is down to fear. You're so scared of losing him. He's so perfect. He's so kind. He's so this, that like you're self-sabotaging. You're self-sabotaging because you've got something really, really good. And I think that actually at its core, you're scared of losing this person. Like
that's what it is. Yeah.
Like, you have a fear of losing this person. And what you're doing is you're thinking of all the things that could possibly go wrong in a situation. And this just happens to be the context, right? The context is that he lives in a small town, his exes are around. And so that's what you're clinging to. If you were anywhere else, you would find another problem, because the truth is you're so happy and grateful to have this person. But instead of actually channeling your energy so that you're just grateful and appreciative of the good times, you're focusing on the energy. I mean, on the negative. So you need to really genuinely switch up like your focus at the moment. And it's like, I always say that relationships are gonna come with problems. It's inevitable. So whilst you're in the happy place, you really have to cherish those moments.
Yeah.
And what you're doing is creating unnecessary drama that naturally wouldn't be occurring. You're creating this. And I think that when you create that and you focus and you lean on that, you're actually just taking away from what could just be really beautiful moments in your relationship. So you really have to just switch your mindset. Like, and there isn't anything we can say, you have to do that. Do you know what I mean? It has to be like a conscious effort that you make like for yourself. And I get it. Like, you've got this good guy, he's so amazing, and you're just picking at problems.
Yeah.
Like, you're finding reasons to have issues because you can't believe you've got him. But you need to start believing you've got him and enjoy it the now and live in the moment, because when real shit does hit the fan, because it will, because it's a relationship and it's normal, this is going to be like just another thing that's added to the list of something that's like, of problems that are inevitable.
And I also say, like, be careful what you take in, right? I think like we see so much content about, I know it sounds silly, but I do think it affects people more than they think, right?
100%.
To be like,
even me at my big age,
this person cheated, or this person I thought had the perfect partner, whatever. And then it starts making you think, oh, is this what my situation is? Or I say, be careful content you're taking, and also be careful who you seek advice from. Because I think like going to a friend maybe who's a bit insecure and a bit sour about her relationship, you'd be like, oh, I think Dave is doing this. And she'll be like, oh, he probably is. You know what guys are like.
Yeah.
And I just think that kind of thing will really mess up your mind and how you see your relationship and how you see things. So be careful what you take in, and just like stick to the truth. Anytime your mind wanders to be like, this might happen, stick to what is actually happening.
Yeah.
Because I think you are going to ruin something that you don't want to ruin.
And I think he does have a point. If the timeline is like aligning with this friend coming into your life and you moving mad, then that probably is true. Do you know what I mean? Because your boyfriend's even said, like, since you started hanging out with this person more, your insecurities have just like gone through the roof. So I'm not saying cut her off, but don't trauma bond with someone. Like, don't internalize someone else's issues.
And I think even if you feel it, don't bring it up to your boyfriend.
Yeah.
Because I'm not saying you're going to listen to this and suddenly you feel better or whatever, but I don't think you need to take up to him to be like, I just feel like you're going to do this. I don't see why he needs to hear that.
I just don't want you to wait. You've got this great person. Like, I just don't want you to waste time sitting in this. It's pointless.
And also not enjoying what you have because you're thinking of the worst case scenario. Like, enjoy what it's in.
Because you're focusing on like fictional bad times. Like, this is not real.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know what I mean? All of these things, like, they're not real. Like, you've met the friend. You have no issues around this friend. You know, they haven't been together for 9 years. He doesn't act weird. He doesn't make you feel away. There's nothing that says that how you're feeling is true apart from you just doing it to yourself.
And what do you think about the girls not being her aesthetic?
Yeah, that is like a talking point, you know, like that people say if someone... do you know what? I think there's different types of guys. I think that there are some guys who really are very hell-bent on their type. and they know what they like and they stick to it. But I also do believe that there are guys that genuinely just like women.
like what they like.
And some men are like that. Like if you're cool and they find you attractive, they will date you. They don't really matter. It doesn't really matter what your race is or how you look. And again, if it was something to do with his behavior, that you can like relate it back to his behavior, then cool. But there's nothing in his behavior that suggests that you're not his type, that he's not attracted to you. It just so happens to be that they're a different race. That's it.
Yeah, and I think for me as well, I think because there were different ways, I don't know, maybe it's my delusion and my cockiness, but if I was dating actually no, because I'd never date a man who's only ever dated white women, so let me not talk.
Yeah.
Like I actually would never.
But she said that all his exes have been white women and she's Southeast Asian.
I assume he's white. And I say that because I know date black men. If I met a black man that has only ever dated all white women, I could never date him.
Yeah, because I don't want to be.
I don't know why. This doesn't.
Yeah, I don't want to be an experiment. Yeah.
Like, why have you not done that before?
Yeah, it gives experiment.
Yeah.
I don't mind guys that have dated women from all backgrounds because some men are like that. Like, I don't mind, like, oh, I've had whatever I've had, or,
And let me say, well, I've got quota.
But not only one race, because then I would assume that I'm not your type, so what are you doing here? But the ones that date all, I don't mind.
If I was dating a white man who's only ever dated white women, well, I don't mind.
Yeah.
But I can't date a black man.
That's only
dated white women.
A white man that's only ever dated black women?
No. So I'm like, have you got a fetish?
I saw something and someone was like, what is actually wrong with fetishes?
Don't fetishize me.
And I was like...
But also, when does it go from a fetish to a type? When does it go from a type to a fetish?
Yeah, or when does it go from you're a fetish to actually I like you now?
I like you, yeah,
Do you know what I mean? Because if I don't feel fetishized, anyway, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter because I only date black anyway, so it doesn't matter really people's story.
But
Next dilemma?
Next dilemma.
Okay, she says in caps, please read before the 10th of April. Yes, ma'am. Hey, girly pops. Hope you're doing well. Congratulations on your new space. I can't wait to experience this new chapter with you both. Thank you. Now, onto my dilemma. I'm sorry if this is long, but I really need to vent. I'm going on holiday in April with an acquaintance, and I'm genuinely concerned about how this will pan out and what we'll do moving forward. Okay. For some context, me and this person, let's call her CC, have known each other from school. She's 1 year older than me. I'm 28 and she's 29. So we were never really friends like that in school, just joked and laughed together. We've had each other on social media for some time. However, I only recently connected properly. Okay. I'd say within the past year. She asked if she could come on this holiday with me because I made it look so fun when I went last year, to which I agreed. Go. I would just say, LOL, thanks, babe. Okay, now I wish I didn't. I've been noticing some odd behaviour from her, which is really starting to grind my gears. Before I get into it, I'm by no means saying that I'm the only person in the world who can have or do certain things, but it just gets to a point where it's like, just be yourself. It started with a birthday picture I took where she asked me what size top I'm wearing and popped up on my phone saying, I need to borrow this, LOL. And when I told her the size, she was like, oh, that won't fit me. I just laughed it off because who are you really talking to? And why are you making plans with my clothes? The next thing was my Yagi dress. What's Yagi?
Oh, Yagi brand. Okay. Yeah.
The next thing was my Yagi band. She alluded to wanting to wear it, which I shut it down immediately because why are you making plans with my clothes?
Yeah,
I'm confused. We went out clubbing one time and she asked what I was wearing. Come to find out, the girl copied my entire outfit down to the hair.
Oh my God.
Which puzzled me. But at the time, I didn't clock it properly. Now that I think about it, there's been many times that I've posted stories wearing a particular outfit and she's gone to copy it. Mm-hmm. Now, let's skip to the holiday. Every conversation in passing that I've had with Cece about something, the girl was going to buy it immediately.
Immediately?
Hair, makeup, teeth.
Teeth?
I mentioned I'm getting my teeth done and she's booked an appointment with her dentist the next day.
No, this is
Grace for holiday I'll send to show that I'm getting. And she'll go buy the same thing.
No, okay, this is weird.
My boyfriend bought me a Van Cleef for Valentine's Day.
Okay,
Cece,
between the Yagi world of the teeth and
you
the
got
Van
money.
Cleef, I know exactly what kind of girl this is.
You got money.
This is who I aspire to be if I was 25.
Cleef. I got Van Cleef perfume once, but not the Van Cleef. My boyfriend bought me a Van Cleef for Valentine's Day. Cece went to buy the exact same one as me.
Damn, she didn't even get a different colour.
What do you guys do?
You get some individuality.
He also bought me a vintage Chanel bag.
Okay.
And she was like, I wonder if the guy I'm talking to will buy me a Chanel like yours.
Oh my God.
My boyfriend also bought me some Miu Miu glasses. Sorry, does he like other girls? Like, I said, like, do you mind sharing?
Oh my God.
Boyfriend also bought me some Miu Miu glasses. And guess what? Yep. She went and bought the exact same ones.
No, okay.
The latest one is getting to me, is getting a new phone. I mentioned it in passing, and the next day, the girl got the exact same phone in the same colour. She sent me a video of a girl with vintage LV bag and said, someone get this so I can borrow. Mind you, I'd already bought this bag as congratulations to myself for securing a new job. And I haven't told her or posted it yet because I didn't want her to get ideas. As I said before, I know I'm not the only person in the world to have things, but it's very coincidental that I'm noticing this pattern. To me now, I know that CC has no personality, and it's sad really. One of those people who speak about the Aries and the Jadas constantly.
Oh, okay.
Nothing against them, but it's just, do you have your own personality of your own? Now, I've never experienced anything like this before. All of my friends I've had in the past have their own style in which they present themselves to the world. They have their own swag, and we come together. We appreciate the uniqueness of each other. I'm genuinely fearful of her now. And when I've spoken to my boyfriend about it, he says to stop telling her things and just pop out when it's already done. It's annoying, but she'll go buy it after anyway. It's annoying when I have to do that because what the fuck? What's she going to do next? Get drunk and try to get with my boyfriend?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, another weird thing that happened was when...
What? I don't even know.
What have you caused?
Oh,
okay,
no.
Another weird thing that happened was when we went to get Mel's maple matcha, when it was in the store, she took a picture and posted it to IG. Cece posted it and tagged me and was like, look at your messages. Aren't you going to repost it? To me, this is weird because she doesn't have a lot of followers, only around 50 people and me. It feels like she's looking for a come up. I'm concerned about this holiday because how do I set boundaries? I haven't said anything to her yet about her copying ways because how do we even approach this? I won't even class her as a friend yet, just someone I know. Me calling someone a friend is a big deal. She always sends me TikToks of girls on holiday doing vlogs together or get ready with me's. I just ignore it because no, we're not besties. Stop. She'll always be the first person to comment on my TikTok, which I also find so weird because it feels like I'm always being watched and studied.
She's got her notifications
She
on.
definitely has. She's got Google alerts on your name, sis. I'm the type of person who doesn't like confrontation, not because I don't know how to stand up for myself, but because I know how far I'll really take it. Oh, you're about that.
Yeah,
I like you. I really don't want to go on holiday and have to cuss
That's going to be on
CC out. My manager told me to watch Single White Female.
Yes, I just said that. Did I not say that? Single white female.
Stay
Exactly.
away from this girl, but it's too late. Tickets are already booked and April is approaching fast. Oh, this is why you need us. Okay. Help girls, what should I do and how do I approach this? I've never experienced someone as lost, as delusional about this in my life. Babe, do not go on holiday with her.
I don't think she should go on holiday with her.
You must lose that money. Lose the holiday money.
Because the thing is, yeah, first of all, the holiday's a case study on you, by the way. And you were the case study.
Yes.
Like, that's what this holiday is for.
I can't even confirm you can come back
ideas.
on that holiday in one.
You like exactly. You might come back with your wig missing, with your veneers out.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? No. But honestly, genuinely, I don't actually think it's safe.
Also, look, I'm all for new friends, right? I'm all for the being spontaneous and someone being like, hey, do you want to, but let's at least go out for dinner first a couple of times.
Yeah, holiday's very intense.
I think holiday is very intense. Close friends go on holidays and come back not friends anymore.
Exactly.
You already think this girl is tapped. Because that's the thing. I understand why you kept saying, you're not the only one who could like this because you think our answer will be she can have things too.
This was legit.
Look, there's nothing wrong with me saying I saw Audrey with a nice bag and I bought the bag because I like it. But I'm always going to tell Audrey, hey, I'm getting this bag by the way. And also we have a relationship. We are actually friends. And I did copy her car. Yeah.
So they only make one. I
wanted us to match. That's all. No, but I do think the repeatedness of this.
Yeah, this one is too
taxed.
much.
Yeah, this is incredibly taxed.
This is too far. I do think as friends.
She wants to be you.
You have, exactly. This one wants to live in your skin.
She wants to be you.
But I do think as friends, especially when you rate the other person, you do think they've got nice style, their hair always looks nice. I don't think there's anything wrong with taking inspiration, but one, you should definitely credit. And two, put your own spin on it.
Make it your own, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like, Tolly and I have got very different styles, but I love how she dresses and sometimes, I might copy something or whatever. And I don't think that there's anything, but wear it in your own unique way.
Yeah.
This is very weird because it's like the timeline is pretty much immediate.
It's weird.
And it's like the exact same thing. Like even if you're going to get a Van Cleef as well, At least get a different colour.
Don't get it after my boyfriend has got it. That's what makes it weird. My boyfriend got me Van Cleef, Miu glasses, and vintage Chanel. Honestly, does your boyfriend have a bother? Fuck. And then you went and bought all of those things. That's weird. Like
very closely together, and you bought the exact same things. Like I do. You definitely have a point. Like I am not. You absolutely are very valid in your concerns, and it's very annoying when it's like you're doing your own thing and someone's coming and just copying you. And that is very, very annoying.
Not to sound rude, but this is what happened. Not to sound rude, when you bring a stray in a group.
Yeah.
When you bring a stray in
Especially
your
a
life.
lost
Sometimes some people don't have friends because they're tapped.
Yeah.
It's not because everybody has let them down, everybody has done this to them. Sometimes, and now when you become friends with them, you're like, oh. Yeah. Because I'm so sorry for someone to message someone that I went to school with who I haven't spoken to in years to message me on DM to be like, oh my gosh, babe, you made the holiday look so fun last year. Can I come with you next year? I genuinely would be like, LOL, you should go with your girl. Like, as in, I think I've only ignored, just say LOL. It was such a good time.
Just like
I'm not addressing that, like, actually, let's do it. And I get what it is. Maybe you're like, she's familiar, like, nothing wrong with new friends or whatever. But I think someone like that, like you said, she copies the Jada, she copies the Aries. She has a version of friendship that she wants to do.
Yeah.
And she's performing it. And I assume like, you sound like a hot girl. And so I assume that she's trying to like emulate you, become where you are or whatever. And I just think that's weird because I just think naturally it's just weird to try to be someone else. I've always found that quite worrying about people, especially post the age of 21.
Yeah. So it's definitely weird. And also I just feel like initially you're not starting the friendship off on a good note or a healthy note because if she feels the need to get something after you get it, there's already an element of competition in the friendship. And I just don't think that competition should ever be a factor in relationship outside of using it as motivation for each other. Do you know what I mean? But the fact that this is the note she wants to start on, like, I just don't think that this is going to end well. I don't think that you have the right foundations to go on holiday. I definitely think that to go on holiday with someone, you do have to have very strong foundations. You have to have history. You have none of that stuff with this girl. And you've had enough time for her to show you that actually she's already crazy. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It's not like she asked you and she's actually just been like a decent, normal person and you're working on the friendship and, you know, the holiday can be like a determining factor. She's shown you that she's clearly obsessed with you and wants to completely like live in your skin and emulate your whole entire existence. And it's cute. I get it. Like, she likes how you look. Do you know what I mean? Some people are very much inspired by others. And on some levels, it's a compliment. But no, I just would not go on holiday with her. I think I would take the L and lose the money because it's going to end in tears. I don't think it's going to be... And, you know, you're going to be her mood board. That's all she wants. Yeah. She wants you to be her mood board for life. And on holiday, what better place to get your mood board inspiration than on holiday? And also, like, often people misquote that, like, imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, but they haven't finished it. Oscar Wilde finished that. That mediocrity can pay to greatness. So it's only the sincerest form when you are mediocre trying to copy greatness. Like, it's people just leave it as that. It's not a full stop. Yeah. There is more to it when that mediocrity can pay to greatness. So it's just like, it's weird. I don't find it the sincerest form of flattery. Get out my face and go find yourself. Yeah, exactly. Like, as in, you don't need to copy and paste to me. Yourself is not here.
I don't go on this holiday. Honestly, it's not going to end well.
Yeah. And I can't imagine you're going anywhere that far.
Yeah, it's just not going to end well.
It doesn't matter. For your own peace of mind, I think you need to slowly start to remove yourself from... Because I hate when, like, no, you can't even live normal.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Your nice things that you want to post, you can't because you're worried that she's going to go copy. And then it's going to be like, who did it better and who did it first?
The girl sounds like she wants like a social media friendship.
Yeah.
Do you know them ones that like, which is like, oh, let's do this video, let's do that video, which is so weird.
When she said Yagi World, Teeth and Van Cleef, I already know exactly who these girls are. And I love that for them. But I love it for you because you're the original. But my God.
Yeah, no.
No, just absolutely not.
No, don't go on a holiday. I promise you don't go on a holiday.
Yeah, please don't.
Like, honestly, it will end badly. You'll rock.
You'll regret it.
Yeah, you absolutely fight.
And she'll be invasive. Like, she'll
be
in your room.
And look at the access you're giving her to all of your stuff.
Exactly.
She's taking pictures and all doing it as you're there.
100%.
She has your suitcase right in front of her. She has access to your everything.
Because I even forgot she's there. You're wearing things. They're talking about, what size? Because when I want to borrow it to wear it here. Like, ma'am, that's my stuff.
Like you said, why are you making plans with my clothes?
Exactly.
Like, that's weird.
We're not close like that.
Do you know, I think because of how I was brought up, my mum used to be very big on us not being allowed to borrow clothes.
Yeah, same. My mum hated it.
I remember one time, I don't know, my mum knew my wardrobe and I came in with it. My mum was like, what is that? Yeah. That's not yours.
Yeah. My mum always knows. Well.
I was never allowed to borrow people's clothes. So I think till today I still feel funny. My mum used to do it because it's like, be happy with what you have.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, if you don't have it, then you don't have it.
And I know for my mum, it was a pride thing. Like, oh, you don't want this person going around
saying that, oh, this person
can be misinterpreted. Oh, why is like Audrey wearing this person's clothes?
My mum hates borrowing anything.
Yeah, my mum doesn't. Yeah,
because I remember one time we borrowed someone's lawnmower. And it broke. Mum was so angry because she was like, now we have to pay for a new lawnmower.
Oh.
Right, anyway, next dilemma.
Next dilemma.
Let's go.
Okay. Hi, girls. I just want to start off by saying that I absolutely love this pod so much. It has genuinely become a staple in my routine, and I couldn't imagine my Monday and Wednesday mornings without it. I'm not exactly sure how I found you guys, but all I know is that it was probably around a year ago, and I'm absolutely loving it here. I apologize for the length and any grammar mistakes in advance. God bless you. I didn't exactly picture myself writing in because I didn't think I would come across any problems that it would be necessary for me to do so. But right now, I am desperate. Last year, I lost my dad. And since then, I feel as though I have lost myself in this process. This is my first immediate loss. And I understand that everyone processes grief differently, but I am really struggling to function properly. I didn't have the best relationship with him, and I still hold resentment towards him. But because I hold resentment towards him, I resent myself for feeling this way even after his passing. I feel as though I don't have a right to be sad about him being gone because of how I feel towards him. I mourned our non-existent relationship quite a while ago, but now he's actually gone, it's kind of solidified that I'll never know what it's like to have a dad. I also haven't confided in my family because I feel like I'd high-key get slated for this take, laughing my ass off. This hasn't stopped me from getting on with my routine. I'm still able to get everything I need to do done. And to be honest, I've been in my worst depressive episodes where I barely left my bed over much smaller matters than this one, but I feel like I'm just performing and I don't feel like myself at all. I feel as though I just keep myself distracted, but these thoughts are always at the back of my mind and it's confusing me. I think it's also leaking into all aspects of my life. The frustration I feel towards myself has led me to get easily irritated by everything, and I feel like I'm slowly become insufferable to be around. I know some present fathers are pathetic and that perhaps the way I feel about him could have been much worse if he was around. However, it still doesn't change the fact that I have always longed for a relationship with him. This was such a mess, but I just want some advice on how I can begin to move on from this, as I genuinely feel very close to having the biggest crisis. Lots of love.
Do you know what? I think there are certain things really big that it's kind of like, I don't even, like, I think our advice feels trivial. And I say this because I'm very much was in the exact same position you were in when I lost my dad as well. Like, I was very much like, oh, like, my dad has died. This is weird because, yeah, it's just, like, I think I said this story before. I remember when I was told he died, I was like in my new house, like doing the wallpaper, and I got the phone call. And I remember just being like, oh, the thing is that they initially didn't tell us he was dead, right? So it was kind of like, my brother called and was like, oh, Dad's been taken to hospital, like, I'll update you, blah, 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 blah. And I could tell by the sound, and I called him back, I was like, he's died, hasn't he? And he was like, yeah. But he was just trying to like time it out and gauge it to how he was going to tell us. And we couldn't, my sister, like, it was really hard to tell my sister. So, and I remember feeling like the first thing was like, I felt really angry, like, what the, like, of course he fucking died. Like, how dare this man die before we like got a relationship or before I got to, I don't know, whatever. Because I think when you have an absent dad, you kind of live like, one day the conversation will happen. Like, one day you'll sit down and you do the like, this is how I feel. And maybe just a little bit of hope is that like you get to form a version of a relationship. And I think you hold on to that, even no matter how small as it is. So when they do die, it's like, oh, that's actually never going to happen. So I'd be like, oh, I'm so angry. My friend Jacob was in the house as well. And then he was like, fucking idiot. This is how I feel when Michael Jackson died. I said, what? Imagine I was crying. I was like, sorry, what? He was like, yeah, because then I'll realise I'll never see him live.
I mean, I get it, but
also... Like, my dad's just died. He was like, yeah, I know.
That was him trying to be helpful.
But it's good because it made me laugh. But I say all of this kind of, that this resentment that you're feeling is not, you're not a bad person for feeling it. It's very, very warranted. It's a feeling that you're going to get. And honestly, I'll be very honest with you, nothing helps me about therapy. There was nothing I watched, nothing I listened to, because you're angry at someone that's not here. So it feels like, where does it go towards? Like, what do you, I think the same way when someone dies and you're like, what do I do with this love that I have for them? Because there's not, because I think the love you have for people is really individual. So when that person's gone, it's like, oh, what do I do with this now? I think you also have that with this, what do I do, this anger that I have for you. And the anger is even worse, right? Because it's an ugly emotion. So that really like eats you apart because it's just like, oh wait, I shouldn't feel this person's not here anymore. But I don't know what to do with this anger that I like held for them. And I think that's just really, really hard to deal with. And I do think, like, I literally started therapy after my dad died. Like literally I think a week or two after, because I was just not able to process everything I was feeling. And my words felt too ugly to say out loud. Like I always say, like the only sadness I felt was when I was thinking about other people in his life that loved him. So I kept thinking, I was like, oh my God, like my sister's lost her dad. Oh my God, I remember when his best friend called, and it really made me cry when his best friend called, because I was just like, oh my God, that's his best friend. And then I felt really sad for my mum to be like, oh my God, that was like, she had kids with that man. That was her husband. Like that must be mad to hear that kind of news. And no part of me put myself into it to be like, hey, your dad has died. It should be sad for you, because I was so angry. And I've just gone through so much of that now that I can feel like it's better than where I was at. But I don't know if there is much advice outside of it might be time to seek therapy.
I totally agree. I always say, I feel like when people like lose someone in their family, especially a parent, and they were estranged, I think that that's actually, it feels like it might actually be worse, because at least when you had that person in your life, like in a more consistent way, you can kind of hang on to the happy memories.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And you can kind of just like relive those and think about the good times and stuff like that. So I can't imagine not even having that. And then like Tolly was saying, you've got this like feeling of anger, and what are you supposed to do with it, and where do you channel it? I think that I definitely agree about getting sort of like professional help, and maybe someone that specializes in grieving. That can help you. But I think you're completely justified to feel the way you do. And I can imagine as well, it's like, I can imagine, you know, when you were saying about putting off the conversation, I can imagine that being a thing. It's like, you know that there's this thing that needs to be tackled, but I will do it. I will do it.
Literally, all I said in my head, I will do it. I will do it. Yeah.
And you come up with reasons why maybe not now, or I'm busy, or like I just don't want to take that. I don't have the capacity for that. And then suddenly you get this call and it's like, oh my God, that opportunity has been stripped away. Yeah. That is a lot of emotion to process. It's hard. That is a lot of emotion. And I remember,
so it was November 2020 that my dad died, and my birthday was September. And do you know that year it was like you can only do like 5 friends that you could spend time with. So I'd like sent messages to individual friends to be like, you don't have to plan things because I can't do anything. So I remember that birthday, Julia taking me to the spa. And I remember being in the spa, we're just like in like the pool or whatever, we're talking, and my dad, conversation my dad brought up, and I was like, I'm going to do it. I was like, I've decided I'm going to do it. Like, I'm getting older. I feel he's getting older. I'm going to do it. And I just never got around to doing it. And that was end of September, November, he died. So it was that there was that kind of like, and you tell yourself you're going to do it, not because I imagined this fairy tale and now me and my dad are going to hold hands and skip, but it would heal something.
Get closure and get your answers.
Yeah.
Because that's the only person that possesses the answers.
Yeah, and also like with me, it was like my dad was never horrible. Like I think there's a weird thing of that, like when there was a very overt, like this person was a bad man, but he just wasn't there. I just felt like I didn't know him. And I was just like, oh, now that you're gone, I still don't get to know you, sort of thing. But like it's a very interesting thing. I think it's incredibly hard, and I think it's something that can definitely lead to a crisis.
Yeah.
I'll be very honest with you. And I think before you get there, I think therapy is worth talking to.
Yeah, I totally agree. I don't have anything else to add on. I would definitely seek like professional help, get therapy, talk through it. Because for me, therapy, I like talking through it, and you might find that makes you feel better because the person's not here to give you the answers that you deserve, but talking through your emotions instead of bottling them up might help.
And you mentioned other family members. I think it's worth noting that like even siblings, the closest of siblings, don't have the same reaction to a parent dying. Like, because your relationship with your parents are all very individual. Like your reactions to things. So you're like, oh, my family won't understand. They probably won't. Like, I would say that was the time that I was like, I'm so happy I've got siblings. The thought of losing the parent of an only child I don't know how that spins you. Yeah. And I thought, I'm happy I've got siblings. But we reacted in very different ways. And I think that's like, don't expect your siblings to get exactly what you're going through because they're dealing with it in a different way and so are you. So yeah. Absolutely. But this is a good time to seek help, I would say. Agreed. Okay, next dilemma. Hi, Tolly and Audrey. Did I ever tell you about the time that I went for an interview at Staffordshire University because I went to be a broadcast journalist?
No.
And the reason why I bring that up now quickly, it's got nothing to do with this dilemma, is that one of the things they taught you was how to go from something really sad to and this time on the news.
Oh, yeah.
And I just saw myself do it.
Yeah.
And I was like, next time I was like, oh, that teaching actually stayed. So then like 1 minute you could be saying that there's been a mass terrorist attack or whatever. And next minute it'll be like, good news, sunshine is now said, like, so you just had to have to change
this
face.
is why you do have to go to school for certain things, and not everybody should just be doing everything. Like there's an art to this.
Audrey's gonna throw it in direct.
Like, I'm always going to. I'm always going to.
All right, next dilemma. Hi, Tolly and Audrey. Hope you're both well. Hi. I love your podcast so much, and I've loved listening to your receipts for the past 6 years. Aww. I'm so happy that you both got your own studio now, and wish you endless success in work life going forward. Thank you. After some time listening to others' problems, I feel like I would know what to do in these situations and I'll find myself in, but I need your help and advice. I'm sorry if this is long. I might be falling for a 19-year-old and I'm 26. Let me land. I might be falling for a 19-year-old and I'm 26. What's that, 7 years? For context, he works at a pub near me where I live, which I used to work at, but I quit a couple of months ago. I'm still friends with everyone there and spend quite a lot of time there. A few weeks ago, a bunch of us went out for a drink, got drunk, he ended up crashing at mine because he couldn't make it home and we hooked up. No sex. He came on to me and I had not been touched in a while, so I was into it. It gets like that, hear it. I thought it was a one-time thing, but then we saw each other again the weekend after, got drunk, and he told me he couldn't stop thinking about me and that he wanted me. We ended up having sex 4 times. Twice drunk and twice sober in the morning. We agreed we wouldn't tell anybody. Since then, we spent...
Here you are.
Since then, we spent several nights together, gone out for drinks, just us, had a cheeky flirt and snuck in a few kisses while he's been at work. And I've been texting. He's told me he's happy with whatever I want and that he will let me take the lead in terms of who knows and who doesn't. I don't want anyone else in the pub whom I'm friends with or familiar with to know because they are big gossips and tend to like talking about me behind my back. This is also partly because of the age gap, as I'm afraid of what people will think or say about it. He's told me he doesn't care about the age and he will defend me and us against any backlash. As well as saying that he likes me and would want us to be a thing in the future. In fact, he wants us to go out for dinner, like a date, later this week. He's so sweet and kind to me and constantly compliments me and pays for my drinks, ECT. He's a great listener and is fit and great in bed.
Of course, he's 19, he's got energy.
Previously, I've had terrible experiences with dating, sex, and men in general, so this is a nice change of pace. I think I really like him too and love spending time with him, not just because of the sex, but I'm also nervous about what people will say and whether this is just an insane idea for me to even consider. We have a 7-year age gap and I never thought I'd date anyone younger than me, but the chemistry between us is just off the charts and I cannot stop thinking about him. Please help and give me your thoughts on this. I'm just so confused because one part of me wants to enjoy it, say fuck it to everyone's opinions and live my life, but the other part is consumed by the age difference. What do I do? Love you both and would appreciate some advice. Thank you all.
Oh my God. This is actually a tricky one.
See, if the 7-year age difference was 37 and 30, run that.
Yeah.
I'm like,
or
girl,
even if he was 20.
Even if it was like 29 and you were 35.
Oh.
Even if it was 20, you were 27. I'd be like, run that.
Yeah.
The teen
is
making in the 19 is making me...
Yeah. Do you know what?
Audrey, you're an advocate for dating younger.
I definitely am an advocate for dating younger. Yeah. But I agree. I think age gap depends
it's the teen,
on the age.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So me, I'm 30, soon to be 39. If I was...
You date a 32-year-old?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If I was single and dating, my cutoff might be 29.
I think, to be honest,
Do you
now,
know what I mean? Yeah.
I'll date 28. 28 is my limit.
I'll date 28, 29.
Yeah.
So long as you're a grown up and you're well over the age of like, you know, and I don't feel it, and I feel like no one would look at us weirdly and think.
And we don't look it because
sometimes you look it. Did I ever tell you about my uncle that was dating this old woman? But no, she was really old, like my dad's friend. No. And she's like this English lady, this white English lady. Is it letters,
uncle?
But he...
Your uncle with the letters?
What letters?
I'll tell you.
Oh no, not him. No. This is my uncle, and he, like, my dad's friend. But he honestly, when they were dating, he would have been. I'm not even joking because this was many moons ago. He would have been in his 40s, and she would have been in her 70s. Like, there was a big age gap difference.
Was she rich?
She wasn't. I mean, she lived in our area. She had a very nice house and very grown kids. She had kids older than him.
Oh wow!
And at first, I think it was like, for legal, but I think he genuinely did love her by the end.
Yeah.
And it was a very odd relationship, but he really did love her.
And by the end, wasn't that long after, was it?
No, not at all. I mean, I don't even know if she's still alive because this was many years ago. But
yeah, so she probably isn't.
Yeah, but I mean, anyway, that's by the by. That is by.
But yeah, we're sort of this thing. We're not against
I'm not
age.
against
it's just
it.
the age that you are.
Exactly. But then it's like,
but wait,
26.
If it was, I'm trying to think if I'd said a different thing. If a 26-year-old boy was dating a 19-year-old, I'm sure that happens.
If a 26-year-old boy was dating a
19-year-old.
Yeah, I'd say the same thing. I think the age gap
it's the age
isn't
of
the issue. It's just the fact that this person is barely out of their, they're just about out of their teenage years and they're just about to enter adulthood. And I think for now, and I think you have to put things into context because I guess the question you're asking is like, you're starting to like him. Could this develop into a relationship? Should you just say fuck it to everyone's opinions? And I think sometimes people perform when you're in certain spaces with them. Do you know what I mean? And again, I'm not trying to say at 19 you can't be mature. I think maturity is down to life experience, but a lot of the time, but I don't even know what I'm saying.
It's only because he's 19.
It's because he's
honestly,
19.
if he was 20 and you were 27, I would be like, yeah, it's
my
a teen.
initial reaction when I heard it was, ugh. Do you know what I mean? Like I flinched when I first heard it.
Yeah.
So I think that first reaction kind of tells you everything. And also the fact that you're ashamed in some levels. Like you're so hell-bent on everybody not knowing. So that tells me that within your own moral compass, because it's not really about us. I think everyone has their own moral compass. Within your own moral compass, it makes you slightly.
No, but I think that's because she's in a small group. Because I think on a normal day basis, right, I don't know the age difference between people and their partners. Like, unless it's like very different. I've never asked how old this. I don't know if you're older than younger than Nick. I don't know because you don't really ask someone.
He's definitely older than me.
You don't really ask someone what their age difference is, unless it's very apparent. That's the only time you see it. But I think the only reason why she's so concerned is because I think if she met a random guy.
So I'm laughing because I just remembered another story. Yeah? My dad's got another friend, another uncle, and his wife is very young.
Yeah,
like
that's the uncle I was thinking of.
Oh yeah, that one. Yeah. And his wife is very young. And one time they were at dinner, and my cousins were like, "Oh, you look just like your dad." And she was like, and I was so much.
That's my man.
I was at this dinner because I was pregnant, and it was my dad's like 60th birthday dinner, and that's my dad's best friend, and his wife is like very young, and so my cousin was like, "You look just like your dad." And she was like, "That's my husband." And it's not right because it's actually quite gross.
Look, the only reason why you're stressed out about this is because you're from a small neighborhood and you guys have mutual friends.
And it's colleagues.
If you didn't have mutual friends, I think you would run this. Here's what.
But also, sorry, but didn't she say she doesn't work at the pub? So why are you always there?
Why are you still there? You're sitting in your own corner. Why are you still there? And even said they like to talk about you behind your back. Why are you still there?
The reason why you've grown to like him is because you keep on going back to the pub. Like you quit. And, anyway, we're here now. It's too late.
I think, honestly, right, if I was in this situation, I'd keep it quiet till he turned 20. I would just enjoy our time.
Yeah. That doesn't sound as bad. Because there's no teen.
Then like, cool. And hopefully you still be 26. You know, some months.
Yeah, exactly. And I'll just be very quiet about my birthdays. We'll celebrate his. He's 20. And we'll never talk about my birthday. My birthday can come and go.
Yeah, it's only because of it's because of how old he is. I don't think the age difference is actually that wild. I don't know if everybody was a grown adult. But I think because I don't actually believe a 19-year-old is an adult, I wouldn't do it.
Yeah, same.
I'd cut it off.
Same, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Right, next
dilemma.
What if he was... Do you know what? I wouldn't even know. I won't get to know that he was a great man.
Yeah, because
as soon as I meet a guy and he says,
and he says, I'm 19, then I'm just going to be like, oh, okay. And instantly categorize that person.
Yeah, because I remember someone chatting me up and he was like, oh, how old? I was like, I'm 35. I said, rah. I was like,
there you go.
What do you mean, rah? But yeah, but I think it's all the range now because you're seeing all those films about like women in their 40s. Remember Desperate Housewives? Yes. Gabrielle Solis. You haven't seen Desperate Housewives, don't say
but
yes.
I know the gardener.
Yes, he was 17 when Gabrielle. He was 17. Yeah, when Gabrielle Solis was with him.
Romeo Beckham dating Cruz Beckham. One of them's 19 and their girlfriend's 29. One of the Beckham boys.
Really?
Yeah. And this is mad, yeah. So basically, Victoria posted some family picture the other day and the filter, and I think the filter
26.
was so mad, yeah, because they wanted to make this 29-year-old look younger so that when she was next to Romeo or Cruz.
So Cruz is turned 20.
Yeah, and his girlfriend's 29 or 30.
See, they're both in their 20s. It's not that bad.
No, she's going to be 30. Because I remember when they were dating and he was 19 and she was 29. So she's definitely going to hit the big 3-0.
When the fuck? I know when Cruz was born.
Same.
How is he 20?
Out of the boys.
Yeah.
He's the youngest boy, right? Yeah. Not even Romeo, Cruz. That is mad.
Romeo's married now. Small boy of yesterday.
Who?
Romeo.
Romeo's married. Well, Romeo.
Yeah. Brooklyn's married. Romeo's not married.
Yeah, Brooklyn's married.
It's Brooklyn that's married. Romeo's not married. When Brooklyn got married and Justin Bieber got married, that's when I looked at God. I said, God.
That's when I was like, this is
small
mad.
boys of yesterday are married before me.
It's Brooklyn that spins me.
Brooklyn is married.
Brooklyn being married is great. And he's still married.
Yeah, actually. He took her last name.
Oh, these progressive guys.
He's Brooklyn something.
She's also the daughter of a billionaire, so I would take it
I would take it too. Yeah. I would absolutely take that. Run me that name.
Okay.
All right, next dilemma. Okay.
Hi, girls.
Hello.
I hope you're well. I love your podcast and can hear your voices reading this as I write it. You have made my commutes to work so much more enjoyable and always make me laugh. I think you're amazing. Carry on doing what you're doing because we all look forward to you every week.
Thank you.
On to my dilemma.
Let's hear it.
My husband and I have been married for just over 2 years and have a great relationship. We waited until marriage to have sex, but never really had sex until a few months ago when we decided to try for a baby.
Okay.
That's mad. They were like, we might as well carry on as we started. Fast forward to when we actually tried to have penetrative sex, I couldn't do it. My vagina was just so tight and wouldn't open. Tammy's like, oh my God, that's my first day here.
Tight pussy girl.
Every time my husband would try to go in, I would just flinch and I would just feel so uncomfortable. We've been using lube, tried different positions, plenty of foreplay, supplements to help me relax, but nothing is working. When we have sex, I think about when it will be over. I don't like my vagina being touched at all. I feel like such a disappointment to my husband because he is trying. I really want a baby and it just makes me so sad that I can't even have sex. Doctors won't take me seriously and keep telling me to relax. If I could relax, I would. I have ordered dilators and we've both decided to take the pressure off wanting a baby and just focus on penetration. I didn't think sex would be this hard and I don't know what is wrong with me. Maybe I'm asexual. I know how important sex is for a relationship. I don't want to be roommates. It just makes me so sad and I don't know what else to do. Thanks in advance for your help.
This is why you must have sex before marriage. I'm joking. I'm actually joking.
Sorry, babe. Well, I definitely don't think you're asexual.
I don't think it's asexual because you have the desire to have sex.
You have the desire to. And I think people that are asexual have no sexual desires or feelings at all. So let's definitely scrap that one out because if that's something that's playing on your mind, listen, the mind is a very powerful thing. I think you've worked it up
too much,
100%.
man.
I think you have overthought this so much. Yeah. And I can imagine that, you waited till marriage and now you've got a husband to do this with. That's a lot of pressure. And I just feel like you're so focused on it being perfect or you being perfect that now you actually just can't enjoy it. And I know that, the doctors have told you to relax and it sounds like you guys have tried everything.
And I think it's one of those things that because she said that even when they did get married, they didn't have sex for ages. So I think you guys have worked up to a point that now it's like a thing that can only be done to have a baby. And now that you put that pressure on it, that's going to make it so much harder to do. And as much as I'm really fascinated with conversations with the church and sex and marriage, right? Because of course, we know that the church, I assume, did I say religious reasons?
No, I didn't say.
Sorry, my bad. I don't know why I started going to the church because you didn't actually mention the Lord.
But it's relevant now.
I was just assuming. Sorry, let me take my advice back. Maybe you guys just didn't want to have sex. But I think you've just worked it up too much in your head. I think it's just kind of, you think it's such a big deal. You didn't do it for ages. Genuinely, practical advice, play with yourself. I'm actually being so deadly serious. I think take your partner out of it for a little bit and just get comfortable with the idea. I think one of the reasons why maybe hard for you is that you're not comfortable with the idea of you being horny. You're not comfortable because you don't want your vagina to be touched. You're not comfortable with the idea of someone. Because I think sometimes there's something about being horny, that feels like your body has betrayed you. Because like, who asked you to do this?
It's just like, have some decorum, body.
Like Tuesday afternoon. Why are you fluttering?
Yeah.
Like, be fucking for real. Like, come on.
I'm in a meeting.
Come on. Like, the sun is out.
It's a normal day.
It's a normal day. Your manager's gone somewhere. Suddenly you hear ting ting. It's like, what is going on here? So it feels like a betrayal. So I think, and that feels like a betrayal when you don't know your body. So I think there is something in actively getting to know your body. There was loads of like sex therapists around. I don't know if you tried that, maybe seen a sex therapist. Remember that thing I wanted to do with the sex therapist? It was just like a sexy walk thing, and I really still want to do it. And I just think that's what it is. I think you need to get comfortable with your body being turned on. And I think the first process of you being comfortable with that is genuinely playing with yourself.
Yeah, I totally agree. You know, I'm an advocate for
Before you add a foreign object to it, you use your body.
Absolutely. Education in masturbation. I'm here for the nation. It's good for the nation.
What is that thing with the liberation? Do you know the MCs? Liberation for the liberation. Masturbation for the nation. On the 1, 2, 3s.
Right, honestly.
Go.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think before you can allow anybody in, you need to be comfortable with your body because you're not comfortable in your body. And I definitely think that that's where this stems from. And I also think, just going back to what Tolly said about the pressure of wanting the baby, you've gone from 0 to 100.
Yeah.
So you haven't even had, because a lot of people, when they have sex before marriage, now the agenda is having a baby, but you know, they know how to get to that bit because they know, you know, they've having
done the
sex.
pleasure part of it.
You haven't explored the pleasure part of it yet, and you're going straight to like the theory.
Yeah.
And you haven't really been doing the practicals. So what I actually think you need to do is forget the baby 100% for now, put that on pause. And then I also actually think you need to put the penetrative on pause for a little bit.
I think you
need to get to know your body.
Yeah.
And then when it comes to your husband, do everything but sex.
Yeah.
And I actually think what you should do is build up the tension.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you, once the tension is built up so much, your body will relax. Your body will be ready for it, and your body will be ready to invite it in.
Yeah.
Right now you're tense because your body is not ready to invite your husband in. So I think you actually need to scrap that, and you need to do it in steps. So what I would do is one night I would just do making out.
Yeah.
Tonight we
do that. Do you know on Married on First Sight when they do that thing where they just stare at each other?
Even start
do
from
that
there.
for a
You
bit.
just sit and you just do eye contact. That is very sexy. That is very intimate. Then the next day, or if you want to do it on the same night, the next day, I'm doing days. Just do kissing where you just make out and you know you're just getting to know it. You're just kissing.
Put scorcher lip syncing on.
And then the next day, maybe you do more. But I think do everything but sex. And then once you're just kind of like getting your body prepared, then I think that you'll be ready.
That's such a good advice. Because I think you guys don't realize that you've seen yourself as just kind of like never had sex or whatever. And then you think straight away to penetrative. Like it's going to take a minute.
Yeah, of course.
I think go back to the start. What do the Americans call it? Stage...
Oh yeah, they base.
Yeah, what base are you in? Second base. Yeah, go through the bases and just take your time. And I think the doctors probably won't listen to you. I think maybe it's worth talking to a sex therapist at this point. But I hard agree with what you said.
Yeah, because with the doctors, they're looking for medical problems.
Yeah.
From what we can see, there's no medical issues.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's definitely something that is more of a mental. So you definitely need like help with the mental side of things. And I think a sex therapist will be perfect, or an intimacy coach, whatever it is, it looks like. But yeah, I think take it in steps. Forget the baby, forget the penetration. And once that pressure is alleviated, maybe your body will start to open up.
Yeah, and take the guilt out of it, especially since you're having marital sex.
Yeah, exactly.
That God approves.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, run that. Yeah. I can understand the guilt when it feels like we shouldn't be doing this, but you're doing it with your husband. You better one pinch up all the way.
Yeah,
have a good time. Okay, next and last.
Next and last.
Next and not last. No, next and last. Sorry, it's been a while. Hi, both. First, I would like to say that I love your podcast. Listening to your podcast always cheers me up, and I greatly appreciate having two strong and wise women to guide us through life. Onto my dilemma. I'm a 24-year-old woman, bisexual, and a virgin. I grew up in a puritanical household and felt ashamed of my sexuality for years. What does puritanical mean? So no sex, pure household. And felt very ashamed of my sexuality for years. I've never told anyone that I'm a virgin, and I tell people white lies when they ask me about my sex life. Don't get me wrong, I'm not a pure virgin, I'm purely virgin. I have done some stuff, but never gone all the way. I've been in one relationship when I was a teenager, but one was long distance and we never met in person. And I've been in one situationship, but I wasn't ready to have sex yet. I have fell in love more than once, but most of them were unrequited. I now feel ready to have sex, but I don't feel comfortable having my first time with the casual hookup. I've gotten close several times, but it gave me too much anxiety. I don't have any problems finding a date. I know I'm physically attractive and charismatic, but I need to wait a while before I feel comfortable doing anything sexual with someone. But I find that if I don't have sex with someone I'm dating after a few dates, they get frustrated and leave. I'm worried that if I tell them I'm a virgin, they'll either lose interest or be creepy about it. But I really do want to get into another relationship and finally have sex. Help. What do I do?
Do you know what? Yeah. I don't, there's no pressure. I'm not understanding.
Yeah.
You said that
you can feel ready to have sex but not have it tomorrow.
Exactly.
You just know I'm ready.
Which you can't have it both ways because you're saying you don't want to do it with a casual partner.
Which you shouldn't if you don't want to.
Which you shouldn't if you don't feel ready to. But you also know that you can get a date. You know that you're attractive, so you don't have any confidence issues. It's just a matter of like, you're putting this pressure of urgency to tick this thing off. And I say this all the time to people that write these kind of dilemmas in. Having sex is not a tick box exercise.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You can feel ready in your body, but it doesn't mean that it's something that you just have to go and tick off a list just because you feel ready. Because the consequences and the repercussions of doing it with someone just for the sake of it, if you're someone, especially if you're someone that's waited, I don't see the point in waiting to just suddenly do it just because you feel like you've got to do it. Do you know what I mean? So I just think be patient. Like, you're clearly dating, you're talking to people, you have no issues getting dates. The right person, you will know when it's the right person and you can do it with that person. And anything else is just for the birds. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. I think it's good that you know you're ready, right? So, but that finish that sentence, you're ready when the right one comes along.
Exactly.
It's not that you're ready, so you now have to do it today or on the next date that you go on. Yeah, I understand the idea that like when you don't want to have sex with someone, they get uninterested, then you shouldn't have sex with them.
Exactly. 100%.
Then I promise you shouldn't have sex with them. When you are in that moment and it feels right, you will know it. And it hasn't happened yet because you have not felt like it felt right. So I think that's worth remembering. Good that you know you're ready, but it doesn't have to be the next Tom, Dick or Harry that comes along. Like, you can take time. Why do you think they picked the names Tom, Dick and Harry?
I don't know. I need to know where the origins
I've always
of
been
that
fascinated
is. Tom,
by
Dick
that.
and Harry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
But
know.
yeah, anyway, that doesn't mean that you have to go that way. Take time. Like, there's many things that I know I'm ready for, but I'm not doing it with the next person.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Like, do you know what I mean? I'm ready for this when the right person comes along. I'm ready for this when the opportunity comes along.
Yeah.
Be ready, good, but wait till the right person comes along.
Exactly.
Is what I would say.
I'm ready to spend millions and millions, but I haven't won
But,
the lottery yet.
it's not coming along
Do you know
yet.
what I mean?
But I'm ready.
So I'm ready.
What do they
Do you know
say?
what I mean?
Stay ready so you know get ready.
Yeah, stay ready so you have to get ready.
So at least you know you're ready. So when the opportunity comes, you're ready to strike.
Exactly. So you don't have to worry about that side of things because that bit is solidified. We know that.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of the who.
Yeah.
You know? But just don't do it with anybody.
Yeah.
Definitely not.
Like, take your
Because
time.
you're gonna feel like crap after.
Absolutely. But yeah.
So yeah,
that's it.
That's all, folks.
That is the first your receipt in the receipt HQ.
Oh yeah, I can't remember if we said about in the beginning when we were talking about. Did we mention that we put all our own money into the studio? So I just think it's very important.
Tell them.
I think it's very important that is highlighted because I know we mentioned the money bit earlier and we just talked about how expensive everything is, but I don't think we honed in on the point that we put all our own money into this.
Why is
That's
that?
all. Women in finance. I just sort of wanted to.
Why is that important for you to get out?
Because sometimes I feel people misconstrue things or they might not have an understanding of how this business works. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know. Not everybody starts studios from scratch. So they might not know that you actually have to buy the things. Like it's not hired equipment. They're not rentals. They're not things of friends. It's actually our stuff with our own money that we spent. Like, no one gave us a loan. Like, it's actually our money. So I just wanted to make that point. That's all.
You might take compliments badly, but my God.
I can give them to myself. I can give them to myself.
Can you give it to yourself? But you know what? I love that about you.
I think it's very important.
Because one thing about you remind us what this is.
I'm always going to talk us up.
Just in case you forget.
I was like, did we mention that we put our own money into this? Because I was looking around at all this very expensive equipment that we bought, yeah. I'm looking at these big beaming lights that are above me, glaring in my face. And I was like, yeah, we actually... everything down to the floor that we're sitting on. Like, literally down to the floor. Every wire, every plug, every socket, every adapter.
But we say that to say we're not above freebies, right?
Oh, no, please run that. Like, we need the freebies because we've spent so much money, but it was all our cash.
Yeah, like
that we invested.
Who's gifted us? So if Apple gifted us a laptop,
thank you
for that. Who else gifted us?
Primark have gifted us some stuff.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's coming soon.
So that's
Sky
coming.
TV.
So yeah, but we have.
Yeah,
like,
we spent a lot of money.
Girls, please help us out.
Yeah.
So listen.
Exactly.
But a quick one as well. What does this mean for you guys, for your listenership and how you listen? So basically, the episodes are still going to be coming out Monday and Wednesday up until we feel like
yeah, exactly. We might change our minds.
we're tired. We're going to do one day a week.
So you don't have to get ready.
But for now, episodes are still out Mondays and Wednesdays. And I think because we've got the new space now, there's opportunity to go like live on YouTube to do more exciting things. So that's there as well. Okay, how you can listen. You can still listen on all platforms that you listen. So the Apples, the Spotifys, the where else is there to listen? Every time people say listen where you get your podcast,
Yeah,
where
I'm
else
just
do people
like-
get their podcast outside of Apple and
Apple
Spotify?
Music and Spotify.
Yeah. But whatever app you use to
And
listen to
Deezer.
Spotify, yeah, wherever you listen to podcasts, you can find us there. But you can now only watch us on YouTube. So if you want to see our beautiful faces and see the space, you can only watch us on YouTube. But yeah, that's it. Apart from that, nothing else changes for you guys. It's business as usual. So again, to say thank you for supporting us through all the stages.
100%. And I know there's been a lot of there's been a lot of like technical things and missing episodes and later. That's only because of the transitional period. But now I feel like we've got through that.
Yeah, we're there.
So everything should be running smoothly, as Tolly said, business as usual. But yeah, thanks for rocking with us. We appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
Love you guys.
And on that note, it's been your girl Tolly T.
And just call me Audrey.
Ow.
And the beautiful studio. The beautiful studio says bye.